A Saudi man passed away during Iftar, and when taken for burial in Jannat al-Baqi, a miracle occurred that left everyone in awe. During Iftar, a Saudi man passed away, and when he was taken for burial in Jannat al-Baqi, a miracle occurred that left people chanting Allahu Akbar. The video spread rapidly across social media. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. During Iftar in the blessed month of Ramadan, an elderly Saudi man departed from this world. When he breathed his last inside Masjid an-Nabawi, there was no chaos or panic. Rather, something extraordinary happened that astonished everyone present. People couldn't believe their eyes that such an incident could occur. Witnessing this scene, the faith of fasting individuals was further strengthened. Before proceeding further with today's video, if you are new to our channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you receive our latest videos easily. Dear friends, in the blessed month of Ramadan, many pilgrims travel to Saudi Arabia to perform Umrah. The Iftar scenes at these sacred places are a sight to behold. Every year, Muslims fast for the pleasure of Allah, enduring hunger and thirst while engaging in worship. And at the time of Iftar, they all have a common prayer on their lips. O Lord, if nothing else, at least grant me the honor of visiting the Kaaba before I die. Mujib was a tailor by profession. He ran a small shop in his neighborhood. However, customers often delayed payments, and over the years, many old debts had accumulated, so much so that Mujib himself had forgotten about them. His kind and soft-hearted nature prevented him from arguing with people over money. Translation: with his wrinkled hands and trembling lips, he would pray throughout the night, longing for the chance to visit Mecca and Medina. The region in Saudi Arabia where he resided was several months' journey away from Mecca. Dear friends, this man was a devout worshipper, performing all 5 daily prayers and being a hafiz of the Quran. Even while working, he would softly recite verses from the Holy Quran. He spent his entire day working, yet he dedicated a portion of the night to worship. Then one day, perhaps his prayers were answered. A sheikh from his area arranged a caravan for Ramadan, planning to spend the holy month in Mecca and Medina. When Mujib heard this announcement in the mosque, he was in the middle of his prayer. The moment the words reached his ears, he broke down in tears, so intensely that his sobs turned into uncontrollable weeping. At that moment, a man approached him, placed a hand on his shoulder, and gave him glad tidings. For a moment, Mujib's heart seemed to stop and then beat again. His lifelong dream was about to come true. He was going to perform Umrah. His happiness knew no bounds. Right there and then, he fell into prostration, uttering words of gratitude. Allah had called him to his house in the blessed month of Ramadan. A few days later, after bidding farewell to his family, he set out on his journey with the caravan. When his eyes beheld the Kaaba for the first time, he couldn't help but pray. O Allah, you have brought this insignificant servant of yours here. Now I ask you to fulfill my final wish as well. His longing to visit the sacred places was finally being fulfilled. After completing his Umrah, he set out for Medina. It was the time of Iftar, and the courtyard of Masjid an-Nabawi was filled with an atmosphere of devotion and gratitude. The pilgrims sitting there marveled at their fortune, blessed to witness such a sacred moment. Translation: as the call to prayer, Adhan, echoed through the air, Mujib instinctively gazed upon the green dome. Tears welled up in his eyes, and he made a single heartfelt supplication. O Allah, grant your humble servant the honor of being buried in this sacred land. It was a moment of divine acceptance, and his prayer was answered. At that instant, a red streak appeared across the sky, and a mysterious, shadow-like celestial entity descended towards the earth. A smile spread across Mujib's face as he loudly proclaimed the words of Tawheed, La ilaha illallah, and the Ashahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. As soon as these final words left his lips, he passed away while still in the state of fasting. The people around him were stunned, witnessing this extraordinary moment. His burial arrangements were swiftly made, and he was taken to be laid to rest in Jannat al-Baqi. Pilgrims who had gathered at the scene watched in amazement, and as more people arrived, the atmosphere was filled with the unified chants of Allahu Akbar and Subhanallah, double asterisk. A miraculous event had taken place, and those present struggled to believe their eyes. Above them, amidst the deep clouds in the sky, they saw an ethereal being hovering directly over Mujib's funeral, as if it had been assigned the divine duty of escorting his soul to Jannat al-Baqi. The sight left people trembling in awe and fear. As their gaze locked onto this luminous entity in the sky, a chill ran down their spines. It was as if their very beings were frozen with reverence. The funeral procession nearly lost hold of the body due to the overwhelming emotion gripping them. Though the celestial figure was not entirely visible, its radiant presence was unmistakable. It was clear to all that this was no ordinary being. It was something beyond human comprehension, assigned by the will of the Almighty. Before anyone could fully grasp what had happened, the sky darkened with deep clouds, and soon a heavy downpour of rain began. People were still in shock, wondering, who was this man, for whom even a luminous celestial being descended from the heavens? But that was not all. When his grave was being prepared, an enchanting fragrance of flowers spread through the air. This scent was so mesmerizing that it felt otherworldly, nothing like any fragrance found in this world. All the pilgrims present that day envied the destiny of this blessed soul. What an extraordinary fate he had been granted. His soul departed while he was fasting in the sacred courtyard of Kmane, Masjid an-Nabawi. The wish of this pious servant of Allah had been fulfilled. Indeed, it was written in his destiny, though his prayer had taken time to be answered. Mujib was finally laid to rest in his grave. Those who touched his body noticed something astonishing. For days, their hands carried the same divine fragrance that emanated from the soil of his grave. Tears welled up in the eyes of everyone who witnessed this miraculous event. Indeed, patience is always rewarded. When Allah wills something and says, kun, be, it happens without delay. We pray to Almighty Allah that by the blessings of Ramadan, this sacred month of mercy and forgiveness, He grants all those yearning to visit the house of Allah, Kaaba, the opportunity to do so soon. The story of Mujib serves as a powerful reminder of faith, patience, and divine acceptance. His lifelong dream of visiting the sacred lands of Mecca and Madina was fulfilled in the most remarkable way. A devout servant of Allah, he spent his life in worship, kindness, and humility, never chasing material wealth, but instead seeking Allah's pleasure. His unwavering prayers and longing for a righteous end were granted in the holiest of places, Masjid an-Nabawi, while fasting in Ramadan, the most blessed month. The miraculous events surrounding his death, from the celestial being descending to the fragrant soil of his grave, reaffirm the belief that those who remain steadfast in their faith are honored by Allah in ways beyond human comprehension. His story teaches us that patience and devotion always lead to divine rewards. It also reminds us to sincerely pray for a righteous end, and to remain on the path that pleases Allah. May Allah grant all believers the opportunity to visit His sacred house and bless them with an honorable departure from this world. Ameen. O Allah, guide all of us onto the righteous path, protect the Muslim Ummah from the evils of misguidance, and shape us into the believers You want us to be. O Lord of the worlds, Ameen. O Lord of the worlds, Ameen.